If you've been scrolling through endless lists of pool cleaners, watching video after video of different robots zipping around, and still feel stuck on which one actually makes sense for your backyard, you're not alone. I've been in that exact spot, trying to weigh the hype of 500 GPH suction against the real-world hassle of setting up a new gadget in a pool that's already got its own quirks. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. In this review, I'll walk through what it's like to actually run the Aiper Scuba X1 Pro Max in a typical residential Inground pool, point out where the value really lives, and tell you plainly who should click buy and who might be better off keeping their current cleaning routine. First off, the biggest question most pool owners have is whether a robot can truly replace the manual vacuum and brush routine they've been doing for years. The Scuba X1 Pro Max promises an all-in-one experience. It maps the pool, chooses its own cleaning path, and even parks itself on the surface when it's done. In practice, that means you can toss the unit into the water, press a button, and let it do its thing while you're grilling or watching the kids play. The smart surface parking works as advertised. The robot surfaces on its own, floats up, and stays in a small dock that you can pull out of the water. I've found that this eliminates the dreaded robot stuck at the deep end moment that some older models suffer from, and it saves the extra step of fishing a tangled hose out of the pool after a clean. The suction power is the headline feature, and it's not just a number on a spec sheet. At 500 GPH, the X1 can pull a decent amount of fine debris, think sand, pollen, and tiny leaf fragments through its dual filtration system. In my own 20-foot rectangular pool, the robot cleared the surface sheen within the first 15 minutes, and after an hour the water looked noticeably clearer. The second filter stage, which they call ultrafine filtration, caught particles that would normally stay suspended and cause a hazy look. If you've ever been annoyed by that lingering cloudiness even after a manual vacuum, the extra filtration stage is where the X1 shows a practical advantage over cheaper single-filter robots. Now, the mapping and FlexiPath 2.0 adaptive cleaning are where the tech side gets interesting. The robot scans the pool shape and creates a digital map, then it adjusts its path on the fly if it encounters an obstruction like a ladder or a floating pool toy. In real-world use, this means you don't have to move every single item out of the pool before you start cleaning. I tested it with a few inflatable pool floats and a couple of garden toys bobbing on the surface. The robot simply rerouted around them and kept cleaning without getting stuck. The only downside I noticed is that the initial mapping can take a few extra minutes the first time you run it in a new pool configuration. If you change the layout frequently, say, you move a large diving board or add a new set of steps, the robot will need a quick remap, which adds a small delay before the full cleaning cycle kicks in. Battery life is another practical factor. The X1 is cordless and recharges wirelessly, which removes the headache of plugging a cord into a pool wall. A full charge gives you roughly 2.5 hours of cleaning time, which is enough for most residential pools to complete a full cycle. The wireless charging dock is sturdy, but you do need to make sure the dock is placed on a level surface and that the pool's water chemistry isn't causing excessive mineral buildup on the contacts. In the long run, that's a low-maintenance consideration, but if you have hard water you might want to rinse the dock periodically. Who should consider buying this robot? If you have an in-ground pool that's used regularly, especially if you notice a lot of fine debris that never quite settles, the Scuba X1 Pro Max offers a hands-off solution that actually improves water clarity over time. It's also a good fit if you're not comfortable spending an hour or two each week manually vacuuming and you'd rather set the robot and let it run while you're doing other things. Families with kids who splash and bring in sand, or homes near trees that drop pollen and small leaves, will appreciate the dual filtration and the ability of the robot to adapt around obstacles without constant supervision. On the flip side, there are scenarios where this robot might not be the best investment. If you have a small above-ground pool that's only a few feet deep, the extra suction and mapping features may be overkill, and a simpler suction sidearm cleaner could do the job for a fraction of the price. Likewise, if your pool has a lot of intricate landscaping features like a waterfall or a complex multi-level deck that the robot can't physically navigate, you'll still need to do spot cleaning manually. Finally, the